The Ohio and Indiana Bar Associations require we give the addresses of the attorneys on the show. So here you go. We have Brett Goodson with us today on East 8th Street, Cincinnati 45202. And Dan Moore is here as well with the Moore Law Group, 1060 Nimitzview Drive, Cincinnati 45230. Moorelaw.com, or you can get all that information at Fox19.com and click on Moore Law. You can also see all the shows that we have done to date. And let's see, right now we want to get back to the phones. We have Janice in Cincinnati. Go ahead, Janice.
Yes, hello?
Hello, go ahead.
Yes, I was in an accident yesterday, and already a chiropractor has called me and a lawyer. I had lower back injury. I did go to emergency. I want to know, what do I need to do next?
Well, generally what I would say, when you're getting calls from lawyers and chiropractors, I probably wouldn't go to them. I would go to your family doctor, discuss the injuries with your family doctor, and follow the treatment recommendations there. I wouldn't go to anybody that's soliciting your business to come see them. It's just not a good practice.
Okay. Good luck with that, Janice. I'm sorry that happened to you yesterday. Another call now, Joe in Northern Kentucky. Joe?
Yes, I was in a motorcycle accident a year ago. I'd ran over some debris in the road, and I'd called the insurance company, and they said, I have full coverage, but it covers the motorcycle and it covers the accessories, but it did not cover the medical on my son or myself. Is that full coverage?
Well, full coverage, Joe, is really a bit of a misnomer. There's really no such thing. People say that, but every insurance policy is different typically, and you've got different coverages you can have. I understand you're in Kentucky, right?
Yes.
You have PIP coverage in Kentucky, personal injury protection coverage, that is. You've got all kinds of different things. So full coverage is a misnomer. So what you need to do is take a look at your policy and see what kind of coverages you have. In Kentucky, you automatically have PIP coverage unless you rejected it. You also have potentially medical payments coverage, which you could get money for under that for you and your son. When you say you're in a motorcycle crash, was your son riding behind you?
Yes, he was.
Okay, so there are several coverages that come to mind immediately to me, PIP and MedPay, for which you can recover for your injuries and your son's injuries. So I would take a look at that, talk to your insurance company, and talk to them specifically about those two different coverages.
Okay.
Will there be issues, since you said it was a year ago, are there any issues regarding the time?
No, because in Kentucky you have 2 years. Generally, that can be extended in certain circumstances, but generally you have 2 years.
Okay, all right. We have another call now. Callie in Hamilton. Good morning, Callie.
Good morning. Me and my husband had just gotten into an accident last week, and we've been dealing with the insurance company for a week now, and they want to settle for the damages on my car. I guess they called it a total loss, but they wanted to settle for, they sent me the paperwork, and they want to settle it for $2,300. Well, I've already got the paper notarized, and I signed it, and I emailed it to them, and now they sent me a check of $2,100 and a different piece of paper that they're wanting me to sign and get it notarized. And I already notarized the other one, and I thought that was the agreement. So I don't, I feel that, that was our agreement. So.
Any thoughts on, is there anything she could do?
You're probably right. I mean, if that is the agreement, then you're probably right. If you've already notarized it and sent it in, the problem is there may be a deductible that they didn't tell you about, and maybe they did settle for $2,500 but deducted $250 or $300 for whatever your deductible is. What I would do there is I would call your agent, okay? Call your agent and try to get your agent to help. Ordinarily, they're the ones that you buy the coverage from. They want to be on your side. They should help you through that kind of a problem. If it goes beyond that, and you feel free to call a lawyer, they can talk to you on the phone and walk you through some of that stuff too. But I would probably start by calling your agent.
And if you have any problem with the subsequent paperwork that you're signing, what you don't want to do is sign something that you're not sure about and agree to something, a lower amount that you originally agreed to. So if you have any questions about that, then again, you need to talk to somebody who can help you out with that.
Okay. All right, we have another caller now. We want to go to Alvin in Indiana. Alvin?
Hi. Yeah, I was on a wreck on the 20th, a gentleman had run a stop sign, and my truck was totaled, but they don't want to pay no hospital bills or anything like that. My insurance company, I had $2,000 with them, and they covered it, but I exhausted that when I went to the emergency room. Now I need follow-up treatments, and now I have no way of going back and forth to see a doctor because I can't get a rental because I don't have no full coverage. And I was wondering what I need to do from here.
Well, probably I would say that you need to get an attorney, because if somebody else caused the accident, they are responsible for your injuries. And ultimately, they'll have to pay for those injuries. The problem that I think you're saying is that if you don't have any health insurance, you've already exhausted all of the medical payments coverage that you have. And the problem is you can't make the party at fault pay before the case is settled. So that's part of the difficulty you have. However, there are some doctors that you can go see and some facilities you can go to that will work with you and wait until you settle before you have to pay them. So in your situation, clearly you need to contact a lawyer to kind of walk you through this, because it's when you have an injury like that that's going to require long-term treatment like you're going to need, then you definitely need to see a lawyer to help you kind of get through the maze.
Okay. I think we have time for another caller. Let's go to Kristen in Crescent Springs. Good morning.
Good morning.
Go ahead and tell us a little bit about your call.
Okay, last year in May, I was in a car accident. I was rear-ended. The girl that hit me didn't have any car insurance. I didn't make a police report, which was a bad mistake. I had burning in my neck. I just let it go because, you know, she didn't have insurance. I wasn't quite sure what to do, so I let it go. As time progressed, you know, a few months went by, and then, you know, 4 months had gone by. I lost complete use of my right arm. It would go numb. Come to find out I have cervical disc protrusion. It's my C1 through my T1. They told me I would need surgery. Well, my insurance company denied my claim, and now I'm stuck with all these medical bills. And no, they didn't give me my PIP money. They said, you know, it wasn't caused from the accident. Just a whole bunch of garbage. I've gone through 2 different attorneys. I need help, I guess.
We just have about a minute left in the show. If you anything that you might be able to tell her?
Yeah, it sounds like that you've already tested the waters with some attorney or several attorneys. You need to get a hold of somebody that can help you out with this, because this is a complicated situation. You're right, you didn't have the crash report filled out at the beginning. That can cause you some problems. You need to get a hold of somebody that can take a look at these facts more specifically and give you the best advice that you can. That's a little more detailed than what we have time to go through today, but tough situation. That's one of the things that you want to protect yourself against when you do get into a crash, is get a police report and those kinds of things.
Okay. All right, Dan, thanks. It was great having you here today.
Good to be
We'll
here.
see you next week.
Thanks,
Brett.
Brett.
Thank you for joining us. I hope that you will come back.
I'd love to.
All right.
It's been great.
All right, great. And that's all the time we have for today, but please join us again next Monday morning at 9:30 when we will be taking your questions about Social Security insurance. Have a great week.